Yes, people, how's it going? Welcome back to Lily White Lane. Hope you're doing good, hope you're keeping safe and well. And in the words of the legendary Alan Partridge, hope you're having a really good Saturday wherever you are in the world and whatever you are planning to get up to today and over the weekend as a whole. I'm going to be honest with you guys, there's not much news to report and not much news to bring to you guys. There's a slight bit of news on the outgoing side of things, but no real transfer news about players coming in. Normally I'd be frustrated with that, the fact that it's all gone quite out of nowhere for a couple of days yesterday and today, but I'm genuinely not, and I can't pretend to be, because we've made such a big move this week. I don't really expect or need any other transfer news for a few more days. That Maddison move was so big, and I think it feels so optimistic when it comes to Tottenham Hotspur right now. That optimistic feeling, we haven't had it for most of this season. We're sort of getting it back now because things are coming together for us. Big Ange'S started his job today. Players are returning. You know, Udogie coming back to the club. We've signed Maddison and Vicario. Things are starting to piece together, and I think most Spurs fans can see that. Hence the fact we're being slightly patient at the fact there's not been no news for a few days. And look, we know we're in talks currently with Leverkusen and Wolfsburg over Van de Ven and Thfc, but I'm sure there'll be developments with those two moves over the next week, potentially Adebayo as well. But I'm calm at the fact there isn't right now. You know, I'm fine with it. We've made a huge move this week. I'm sure we'll make more transfers in the summer transfer window. We're not just going to leave it at Maddison and Vicario. We'll go in for other players. And we saw the mistake we made last summer when we went in for loads at the beginning and then didn't strengthen closer to pre-season. But look, I do think we will make some more moves in the summer transfer window, but there's not much news right now. There is a little bit on outgoings, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to start today's video off by talking about two cool things I've seen about Big Ange, and they're little things, but they came out over the last week, and it goes to show to me how quality this manager is who we've brought in, and how good of a player manager he is, genuinely, in the way he communicates with people. So there was a story earlier in the week about Vicario, and when Vicario joined Tottenham Hotspur, he came out and said that Ange Postecoglou personally phoned him and told him, "You were my man." Not a lot of managers would have done that. One, we know that Ange Postecoglou is a positive man, so now we actually do know that Ange Postecoglou did want Vicario as a main target. But two, I think that's brilliant, because that will hugely encourage Vicario, because you're telling me he didn't see the David Raya news. You're telling me he didn't see the fact that... And of course he's going to be pleased to join Spurs. He said so many times himself, Vicario, you know, it's a dream. You've seen the Instagram stories when he was flying into London, how excited he was to join Spurs. But there was always going to be that thing in the back of his head about the Raya news, because he would have saw it. He would have saw it when he got linked with Tottenham Hotspur. And I think that's absolutely brilliant of Postecoglou to ring him up and directly tell him, "You're my man." Not David Raya, you are the guy I wanted. You're the guy I want in between the sticks next season. That'll improve his confidence. That'll improve Big Ange's confidence. I think that's a fantastic thing to do. Secondly, Maddison, right? Big Ange, absolute genius on the phone, this guy. Maddison came out in an interview. Obviously, he did his interview after signing. I believe it was yesterday. It might have been on Thursday. I'm not 100%. But anyway, James Maddison came out in this interview and he said that Ange Postecoglou phoned him and said, "Whether you decide to join this Spurs team or not, this is going to be a different Tottenham Hotspur team." I think that's brilliant. One, because similarly to the Vicario phone call, you know, Maddison feels more positive about the move. And two, it shows the confidence our manager has. Our manager genuinely believes he can transform this club. And that's something I doubt that Jose Mourinho had. I doubt that Antonio Conte had. We didn't really hear those stories with them. And don't get me wrong, they're world-class managers. But they really believe in their heart that they could turn this team around. And even if this team can't be turned around, I think it can. And we're seeing it right now. But even if this team can't be turned around, I like the confidence of Postecoglou to think it can. I really do. It goes to show we've got a manager in right now who genuinely believes he can achieve with this Tottenham team. Genuinely wants to achieve and do good things with this Spurs team. I think that's fantastic. And the fact he called up Maddison and said, "I can guarantee you this is going to be a different Tottenham Hotspur team," it's great for Maddison's confidence, probably prompted him to join Spurs. Hence the fact he mentioned it in the interview as well. Postecoglou said, "Whether you're going to join or not, it's not going to be the same Tottenham Hotspur team." That's given Maddison confidence. And it goes to show that Postecoglou does have confidence. And all of these little things combined, they're little things, but they're increasing the confidence in the squad. The manager himself is confident, and the mood around the fan base is getting better. You know, I think our fan base's morale as a whole for most of last season that's just gone was horrendous. It was absolutely horrendous. Fans arguing, going at each other, shouting on Twitter and in videos. It was just not a good place to be, the Tottenham Hotspur community. Fans seem to be coming together a bit now. I'm not seeing many people go no to Ange after the things they've seen him do, such as the two I just mentioned there. And fans seem to be getting behind the team, getting behind the transfers that we're making and believing again. And like I say, they're two little things, but it's definitely improved the morale around the fan base. And we've gone in a few weeks, which I thought was impossible, from feeling as fans like this is the worst our team's ever been, to we can contend for Champions League and trophies next season because of how much our morale has been boosted by the confidence of our manager, and how that confidence has correlated onto other players and correlated onto players who are thinking about joining and have now joined. It's two little things, but I wanted to talk about them because I think they were absolutely fantastic. But look, let's talk about some news. News on the outgoing side of things. Like I say, there's no when it comes to incomings, but there is some news when it comes to outgoings. News breaking this afternoon that Harry Winks has officially signed for Leicester City. We knew this was coming. I mean, talks have been going on a week, and it's the right move. It is the right move. Yes, he did all right in Italy, but there was no way, in my opinion, that he could fit into that Tottenham Hotspur side, especially when you've got Bissouma, Maddison, Bentancur, Højbjerg, Skipp. You've got those midfielders, and if one of them leaves, in my opinion, you can't just replace them with Harry Winks. I don't think this guy's good enough. I don't. He started off his career so well. He's given everything to Spurs. He's a Spurs boy. He went through the academy and all of that. But he's just not good enough. He's just not good enough. I don't have any agenda or anything against Harry Winks. I wish him all the best at Leicester City. And I think Leicester City in the Championship is his level. I do think it's his level, and I think it's a level he can absolutely smash it at. Now, Skipp, in my opinion, can develop into a quality player. But when it comes to the Championship, a few years ago when he was playing for Norwich, Ollie Skipp was like the De Bruyne of the Championship. Maybe Harry Winks can be that. I don't think Harry Winks is as good of a player as Skipp, and I think Skipp can still improve because he's so young. He's under 21. But, you know, maybe Harry Winks is at his level now. Maybe he can smash it at Leicester. I hope he does, in all honesty. I wish the guy all the best. And like I say, it's the right move. He was never going to fit into to Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham side. He's simply not good enough. But at the same time, I don't have anything against him. I don't think any Spurs fans really have anything against him, apart from the poor performances he's put in. But one thing this guy's never lacked is effort. He's always given effort, always given his all. You can see that. Just mistakes and lack of quality have let him down. And I'll always remember some of the nights where Harry Winks put in a shift, man. You know, nights at the Bernabeu and at home at Wembley against Real Madrid, and the performances. He schooled Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, man. When Harry Winks was first coming through, I thought genuinely this guy's going to be the next De Bruyne because he was so good. And obviously it's gone downhill for him, and hopefully he can go more uphill. He's never going to be at the level fans thought he would be. But some of those Champions League games he played in back in 2017, 2018, 2019, oh my days, he was unreal. Absolutely unreal. Like I say, that Real Madrid games comes to mind where he absolutely schooled Modric and Kroos. Keep in mind this guy was, 20, 21 at that point? And us fans were so excited about what the future held for him. It hasn't turned out, how we wanted it to or how we thought it would. But I'll still remember those memories always. And look, he's given everything he can for the club. Lack of quality, he's let him down. Wish him all the best, man. Wish him all the best at Leicester City. Another news report I do want to discuss is that Atletico Madrid are interested in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Atleti have expressed their interest in a Danish midfielder. This is one that ties a lot of Spurs fans. It really is. Some Spurs fans are open to letting him go. Some want him to stay. You've got fans such as Ellie from Thfc Until I Die, and the Newspeak that those guys do. This is a great channel, by the way, with Dermot and that. But you've got people like Ellie, Højbjerg, the Viking, who lives and breathes Højbjerg more than she does Tottenham. And you've got other fans who can't stand the guy. I'm sort of in the middle, and I know sitting on the fence is boring, but if Højbjerg stays, I'm okay with it, because do I think he's good enough to be straight into the first team? No, I think we've seen that this season when he's had to play first team game after first team game. He hasn't really been good enough. He hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't really been good enough. So if Højbjerg stays, I'm okay with it. I think, does he get into the first team? No, I think that first team midfield's got to be Maddison, Bissouma and Bentancur. Maybe but like I say, for the beginning of the season, we're not going to have Bentancur, and we don't know about Bissouma and his confidence coming back from injury. So or the injuries he's had this season. So I think Højbjerg, if he stays, can be a very good squad player, very good backup in that midfield and strengthens our midfield. If Højbjerg is to leave, I'm very open for it. I think we can get a decent offer for this guy because he hasn't been terrible. A lot of managers like him. Simeone, Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte. When Jose went to Roma, he wanted to buy him straight away. So a lot of managers like the guy. And I think we could make a fair amount of cash from him. Maybe 25 million, 30 million. I'd take that as well. So if Højbjerg is to go, I think you get money that you can spend on a better player. But if he is to stay, I'm okay with it because I think he can be a very, very solid squad player and good backup to Bentancur and Bissouma. But look, if I was to choose, if I was forced to choose, I'd say I'd probably prefer for him to go. I think you can get someone better for that 25 to 30 million or invest that money to the money we're already looking at for an even better centre-back because midfield isn't our priority. But that depends on whether we keep Ollie Skipp as well. And that's another story I'm going to move on to. News coming out this afternoon about Ollie Skipp. I did a short on it. Go check that out after this one. That Ollie Skipp, or that Tottenham are open to selling Ollie Skipp. I don't understand that one. I really don't understand that one. I think he had a few rocky years, Skipp. When he was coming through in 2019, people said he was going to be the next big thing. 2020 went out on loan to Norwich. Season before last season, he wasn't brilliant. He was okay, and we thought, okay, he's just not going to cut it. And this season, the guy's been very good, in my opinion. He's been very good. He's put in some stellar performances in that midfield. He's not on that first team level yet, but like I say, I believe he's what? Is he 20? He's 20 years of age. He's got roughly 15 years left of his career. Nowhere near the prime of his career. This guy's going to get better and better and better, in my opinion. And I think even if you are to sell him, why sell him now? Keep him for longer and a few years, because this he's only going to develop and get better, in my opinion. And then sell him at the maximum price you can. But I don't really understand that one. If I were to sell either Skipp or Højbjerg, it'd be Højbjerg all day, because I don't mind Højbjerg, but Skipp loves Spurs, man. He does. He's a Spurs boy, came up through the academy, you know. And I think, okay, he had a wobbly period a couple of years ago when he came back from that fantastic loan spell he had at Norwich. And he weren't too good when he came back for that first season under Nuno and Conte. But the season just gone, in a very poor season, he was one of the only shining lights. And like I say, that banger goal against Chelsea, the performance in general in that game and other ones, I think you keep him. I do think you keep him. I think you keep him for right now as a squad player, and down the line he can definitely be an established first team player. But look, he's got a lot of first team chances this season. He's been the best player in that midfield in most of those first team chances. So look, I'd keep him and pay Matt aside. If I was forced to sell anyone, it'd be Højbjerg for the reasons I've just mentioned. But look, what are your guys' thoughts and opinions on the midfielders? You know, Højbjerg, would you be open to selling him? Skipp, would you be open to selling him? Sarr, no real rumours or reports on Sarr, but would you be open to selling him? Or would you like to keep all three? Or tell me how you'd go about business when it comes to that midfield. But look, that is a wrap. No real news on incomings, but trust me when I say as soon as they do come in, I'll be reporting the news to you guys. We've discussed Harry Winks, we've discussed Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, we've discussed Skipp, and I've given you my thoughts on the two cool Big Ange things I've seen this week. Comment all your thoughts below. That's what I want to hear. This is why I do this YouTube lark, because I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. 1k subscribers is great, but I want as many of you 1k fans to comment your thoughts below, because I love interacting with you. I love hearing your thoughts and opinions on the stories that I'm presenting and giving to you guys. So look, comment your thoughts down below. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Take care of yourselves. All the best. Have a good one. And as always, what am I doing? I went to do like that because the Spurs badge is normally on this side. It's normally on the right side, right? But it's in the middle on this one. Anyway, come on you Spurs. I nearly said in Conte we trust. Not anymore. Not anymore. In Big Ange we trust. Enoch and Levy out. Up the Spurs. Have a good one.